Good evening. We are live, and it is Tuesday, and we have some people here waiting. Good evening, Carla. Spending time working and playing in the yard. Awesome. That is so great. Kay, thank you so much. My husband is feeling better, and Ronnie's been out in her yard as well. Us Midwesterners right now, we don't have a chance yet to get out into our yards. We had a little bit of snow on the ground when we woke up this morning, but I just read the weather report. We have more coming. It might miss us, but unfortunately, Linda Lombardo, it's not going to miss you. I'm sorry. Oh, hi, Linda. Good to see you. Um, Debbie, Cactus Deb is here from Glendale. Looking forward to this one. Oh my goodness, my dog is going nuts here. Susan from Clearfield, PA, and Beverly Kramer. Hi from a very windy Wisconsin. It is so windy out there. It's been horrible. I've been listening to it all day, wondering when some roof tiles were going to go flying down the road. Oh, Jean is here from Mount Vernon, Washington. Linda, my friend from New York. And Ruth Ellen says, with the time change, okay, let's get this right. With the time change and it being light later in the day, it's hard to remember quilting. Forgot last night until it got dark. Ah, yes, it's a very windy day in Northern Virginia as well. And it seems to be the tide of the day. Hi, Donna from North Carolina, and Kelly's here from Arizona. Lee from Indiana, hello, and Kay from Florida. Jan eating a strawberry sundae. Oh, I would kill for that. That sounds so good, Jan. Ina's here from Queensland, and Evelyn from New Haven, Indiana. Oh, El Paso's been windy today too, but warm. It's kind of weird how the weather here this year has been stranger than any year that I remember. So, if we are ready, we will get started with the Bloom template. Pam, are you ready to go? I know the rest of us are welcome. I had to take the 20% off code because this particular template is a retailer retail retailer exclusive. So what that means is you will be able to find this at your retail store, but to the best of my knowledge, we cannot order this off of the So Study site because it's a reseller exclusive. I know a lot of you have it. We're still going to do it. I've come up with some ideas on it. I hope you like them. When I was working with this, getting it ready for tonight, I looked at this. I looked at it this way as a square. I looked at it this way as a diamond. This is just 4 rotations of the bloom. It is simplistic beauty as far as I'm concerned. I'm seriously in love with how this design just comes around and around and around. And you know what? It reminds me of. It reminds me of one of Sarah Diddy's um, patterns. And I thought it was this one, but it's not. And this, however, would work on these little flowers here, and they would look beautiful. It would also look beautiful in this I don't know, spacer design, whichever it is. And that can be, you can purchase this off of So Steady under Sarah Diddy. And I just love the simplicity of it. So me being me, of course, I had to go a little further. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these a little at a time. Excuse me. Oh, I am so sorry. Coughing here. This is ridiculous, honestly. So the first one that I want to do is going to be totally unexpected, guys. We're going to take out our simple circle from our starter sampler set. Wow, simple circle starter sampler set. Yeah, I can't say that 3 times really fast. Okay. So I'm not even going to try. And this one is actually going to go over, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to grab another, I'm going to grab another clean one here and quickly mark it for you because I have everything right at hand. At least I try to. And it didn't dawn on me that that was going to be too big. So, really quick, this doesn't take but a second here. And I know I got so many of you said you were really excited about tonight. You couldn't wait to see some of the things we were going to do. I didn't realize so many had the Bloom template. But I'll tell you what, it really makes me happy that you do. And part of the reason that it really makes me happy that you all have it is because that tells me you're shopping at your local quilt shops. And that is so important. Um, I don't like to name names, but I did see a post today of a Viking sewing gallery space empty. And that just made my heart sink. I'm telling you guys, that's just so sad. It really is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to, of course, line my simple circle up. I'm going to start at the top here. I think I'm gonna try not to bump you guys. I hate bumping you all. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna put 2 inch simple circle in here. That's it. Easy peasy. Take my 1 stitch place. I did set my height tonight. So provided that all of the areas of the fusible plates that I'm using are even, we're going to have a nice, perfect height so that our stitches will be beautiful. Okay, so here I'm going to stop. Go ahead and take my gate out. And if I win the lottery, I'll go ahead and replace those with, with templates with needle channels instead. Oh, you guys, you hear me complain about that all the time, though. You don't need me whining about that anymore. Okay, here we go. Put it back in the spot here. Now what I'm going to do is rather than start in the center, I'm going to go ahead and start at my 2 inch circle. And I'm going to just double check. Don't forget to take your time going around that little ledge there. Because what will happen if you go too quickly, you will fall off that ledge. And I don't want to see you fall off a ledge. Okay, and back to my center with my needle down. Now, I know that you all are fully capable of traveling that little itty bitty way to the next reference line. And there we go. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this 15 more times. Of course, I'm not going to really do it 15 times because you don't want to sit here and watch me do this 15 times. because we have other things to show you. Okay, and we're going to come back down. You'll notice tonight I'm stitching a little bit on the quick side, and that's because I got a whole lot of things that I want to get through tonight. Okay, there we go. I'm not taking my template off. You don't need to. This gives you more than enough room. And here we go. This will be our third rotation. Does not matter if you go to the left first or to the right first. All that matters is that we're keeping those stitches just a little bit smaller because we're on curves. Take that one stitch hesitation up at the top, because we want that point to be nice and sharp. Don't pull off the curve here. And back to our 2-inch simple circle. And there we go, needle down. Awesome. We're going to just do one or two more. And to the next reference line. Remember, I have 16 reference lines in here. So this one is going to be tend to be a little on the busy side. But I'm going to do part of this with 16 rotations, or what's a representative of 16 rotations. And then I'm going to do a part of it with a representation of 8 rotations. There we go. It really is a whole new look coming out from that 2-inch simple circle than it is coming out from the center of the design. Needle down. Okay, got the needle. Do one more, and then we're going to go ahead and, yeah, actually this one will go ahead, and I'll go ahead and start my 8 rotations on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this line as though it was number 1. Okay. It'll also help close up that 16-point design, which I love, by the way, absolutely love. As I was practicing and playing with this today, I started thinking, well, what if I did this? What if I did that? And, that is when I'm just really at my happiest. What if? But then you get to see what if. I will tell you, though, there's a lot of what ifs you don't see because they actually just don't work. And sometimes I look at myself after I try and go, what were you thinking? You knew that wouldn't work, didn't you? And yeah, but I had to try it anyway, right? And here, this is going to be a representation of 8 motifs. Okay, 8 rotations instead of the 16. It's going to be a lot cleaner looking. And I'm going to show you one of the things that we can do with this to just kind of spice it up a little bit. I'm going to come over and I'm going to show you on this one, which I think is kind of cool, actually. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make one complete rotation. And up to the top, don't forget to hesitate here. You don't want to stick around there too long, because if you do, what you're going to do is you're going to end up with a big old knot on the back side of your quilt, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch back up to this point. Okay? Now this is really easy to do because we have not moved our template yet. Now we are going to twist it. Okay. We're going to stop at the middle line right there. Now I'm going to twist it the other way. And we're going to come back, and all things being equal, where we should line up. I may need to make an adjustment here, but that's okay. There we go. Beautiful. We should line up right there at that point. And whoa, I love it when a plan comes together and works out. Now I will go ahead and straighten my template out, make sure that I am on that ledge, and I will finish up my rotation. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely love that. I'm going to do that one more time again for you, okay? Let's see who's sneaking in here, though, that I haven't seen yet. It's been quite a few minutes since I've looked. Now, let me get all the way up. Um, wow. Okay, Pam was the last one I said hi to. Oh, Rita's here from Northern Victoria, Australia. Good evening. Good morning, Rita. I'm sorry. Okay. Barb is here from Wisconsin. And Linda Eden from Brisbane, Australia. Lisa, my friend from Sugarland. Carla says weather is downright crazy this year. That is an understatement. I agree. Colorado's in the house. Hello, Charlene. And Monica's here. Hi, Monica. Bev used hers for the first time this weekend. Awesome. And she is here from Dryden. Good evening. And Gina's here from Newfield, New York. Linda made it in from Arkansas. Okay. Oh, really? Charlene just gave me a piece of trivia I didn't know. The Bloom template was introduced as part of the starter set when the Bloom template came out. I was not aware of that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Anne is late to the party and wants to know which template we're using. We are using the Bloom template. And where did my, there it is. Okay, I knew I had a package with it. And here it is, the Bloom template. It is a reseller exclusive template, so you will need to get it at a local quilt shop, okay? And Susan's here from South Carolina. Bev, oh, Bev is answering. Thank you, Becky Murphy. Hi from Washington. Oh, Jan says it looks a lot like number 15. A lot of them do look like they could be interchangeable. Vonnie, hi from Green Bay. Oh, yeah, what I've got cooked up, you never know from me, right? You guys are going through a whole lot of changes down there getting ready for the football draft. I'm staying away from Green Bay. Oh, yeah, absolutely awesome. Jackie's here from Alberta. Ina, hi. And Kathy's here from Maryland. And it's pretty much, Linda Shell tells us it's pretty much the same as the Spinifex 14. And that easily could be Linda, very possibly. Um, a lot of them I think are sometimes a little close to each other, but they just have little nuances that might be different. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Gotta check the time here. Okay, we got plenty of time. We're doing great. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the complete rotation. And keep those stitches small. Want to make sure that when we go around these arcs and curves and turns, that we have nice small stitches to make everything look very smooth. Whoa, I stepped on it just a little too hard there, guys. Sorry about that. Now we're going to just come over the edge of the template or of the rotation prior to the ones we're stitching now. And I'm going to come right back up to what I call the ledge, which is right here. Now I want to make sure my needle is down. I'm going to twist my template until my stitching touches the template right there. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take off and we're going to stop when we hit that center line right there. There we go. Now I'm going to twist my template the other way. And I probably overshot it by a stitch or two. But you know what? I'm not going to get excited about it. This is a practice piece. Remember, this is how we learn to make those adjustments so that everything turns out perfect when we do the real thing, right? And then we're going to go back to center, and there we go. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take this template off. I want you to see this. I think it's so fun. Is it worth the extra work? You tell me. I'm thinking yes, it is. Now, if you wanted to, you could come in here with a little tiny curly Q and really fancy it up. Let me grab those things. I know I got them right here. Okay, where are they? There they are. So I can just take a small curly Q and it probably will be, oh, that's a little too big. What size is that? That's a 4.5. I think I'm going to look for my 3.5 here. And wow, I got curly Q's everywhere here, guys. No such thing as too many curly Q's. I absolutely love this set. There's my 3.5. So let's take a look. Yeah, I think the 3.5 would be, oh yeah, 3.5 is going to be perfect in here. It's going to look really nice. Okay, let's get that out of here. I'm going to put my glue up there so it doesn't end up on the floor. And here we go. Now we have several ways we can do it. I'm going to do it just like the regular curly Q. Lovely. I'm going to turn it over, align it back up, and I'm going to come back at it from the other side. And this is going to be just outside of the first one. It's going to put a little bit of heavy stitching on the top here. But that's okay if you want it that way. That's perfectly fine. Kind of looks like a safety pin. Okay, so there we go. Of course, you could stop in the center too, and that would work out. Let's go ahead and let's do another one over here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to travel. I'm definitely swirling here tonight. Okay, and we're going to put this guy back on. And gate goes in. And I want you to see how it looks with just the 8 rotations. It's a very clean looking template. Okay, one more and we'll be done with this, Stella. There we go. You know what? We're going to be pulling these two together. Isn't that awesome? We're going to go and back into center. Hesitate. Don't stay there too long. Now, those of you who know me or have been watching me for a while, you know that me stitching at this speed makes me very nervous. I'm just not a fast stitcher, but I'm trying so that we can get through a lot more of these designs. Okay, so what we've got here, and you could put a mini spin effects in the center if you want. Okay, let's take a look. Well, it looks like everybody likes this one, and I do too. Now, what we could do, I love this part. I really, really do. What that part is that's the 16 rotations or 16 reference lines. If you wanted to, what we could do, and this would look so cool. I'm going to use that. Let me get my favorite guy out. There he is. That's my favorite. What you could do here is you could do a curved crosshatch. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a couple lines here for you, okay? Give you an idea of what it will look like. There we go. And remember, all we have to do for a curved crosshatch is go back and forth. It is better to start at the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a quarter of an inch. And to get to that quarter of an inch, as soon as I see that line of stitching poking out of my foot, I know I have gone a quarter of an inch right here. Now I'm going to make sure that my needle is down. I'm going to come back. I'm going to use my spacing gauge. I want it to be at a half an inch because it will end up a quarter of an inch. There we go. And we're going to come back. And we're just going to keep doing this until we fill up the whole space. I'm going to come down one more time. Okay. And why am I using a half an inch? I'm using a half an inch because I actually have a half of an inch from here to here. From here to my needle is a quarter of an inch. And that's what's going to cause this cross hatching to be a quarter of an inch wide. I'm going to come down one more time. Now I'm just going to stitch back up a little way. And what we can do is now we will go ahead and at it from the other direction. And this is just a sample. This is not really how you do cross hatching, curved cross hatching, guys. This is just kind of showing you what it's going to look like. I mean, this is how you do it, but I would be much more careful with my measurements and my foot and everything, okay? And there we go. And you can see you can fill that whole thing up right there with cross hatching or curved cross hatching. And it really will. This will definitely look like a sunflower. Okay. Now, if you wanted to make that a little bigger, let's go ahead and grab that loom template back out. and let's take a look at how we can put some extra petals coming out of here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at a quarter of an inch down. I'm not going to start it at the absolute tip of it because I don't think that's going to look as nice. This is going to be more work. There's definitely no doubt about it. This will be more difficult to do. But you know what? In the end, you really are going to be happy with it. Now, what we're going to do is we're making that imaginary line come through here, through here, through here, and right to our center. Okay? Now, if I was going to go ahead and do this as like on a quilt or something, I would go in and I would mark 32 reference lines. I want this to be definitely very even. So there's my one stitch in place. I'm going to go on up, hesitate right here, and now we're going to come back down. And we're going to stop when we hit that rotation right there. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this thread off. Well, I only got half of it. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to travel. And again, this is not difficult, guys. And if you really want to, you can actually line your template up and use it to travel with, just like this. And I'm going to come up, hit that. Now I'm going to come back down over here. Oh, I hate it when I can't keep it going nice and steady. There we go. And this is exactly where we want to stop. I'm going to pull this in really tight for you because I really want you to see this. I am stopping right when I see that thread. That way I know I'm a quarter of an inch. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my template. I'm going to line it up. Okay, right through like that. It's going to touch right here on the top of this petal, right there. And that's going to ensure that we're going to end up a quarter of an inch down. Okay, up we go. Take that hesitation stitch. And we'll come back down. Okay. Back down. I'm going to turn this around because I want to see when I hit that. Whoops, I moved it, but that's okay. So right here is going to be where I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down. Be a little messy there. It would be less messy if I had the right number of reference lines in here. Okay, and we'll do this one more time. Now remember, and I said this last night, and it bears repeating. When you're watching me do these live shows, what I am doing is I'm using a heavy 40 weight thread with very high contrast to the fabric that I'm working on. So what's going to happen is every wiggle and wobble is going to show up like a sore thumb. Okay? Just so you were aware of that. When we're stitching on a regular quilt, chances are we're not going to have such high contrast, and a little wiggle or wobble isn't going to show at all. Now we'll pull this back. You guys like it? Oh, yes. You know, Anne just brought up something. And she said she's making a Dresden plate, and that crosshairs, it's perfect for the center circle. You're absolutely right, and I love to see that. Don't forget to post that on Westerly by me when you get it all done. Oh, I'd love to see it. Hi, Linda's here from El Paso. Portia, good evening. I didn't see you come in. Ah, yeah, we're having fun here. I love this. I absolutely love this. Christina's here. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. Lisa loves it too. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, take a look at all we can do just with this one template, and we're not done yet. I've got some more things to show you here, okay? So I'm just going to set this one off to the side, and we're going to come here, and I'll go ahead and pull out that one that I made for us to look at. Okay. I'm going to grab, oh boy, you guys, I have a mess here. I have a real big mess here. Okay. I check my papers and see what it is that I'm going to show you. Okay. Let's take a look. This is an 8 point, and as you can see, this is where I actually showed you how to do this one already. I just want to do a regular old 8 point to show you how it looks. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add the other 8 and make it 16. And I'm going to do that right here. And this is just the basic how the template was designed to work. Alrighty. I want to make sure. There we go. Okay, I'm on the right camera and in the right spot. And there we go. Needle down, foot down, and ready to start. Doesn't matter where you start. You know what? It really doesn't. And that's what's so awesome. You can start it anywhere you want to. Lois, coming in late from Delaware. Hi, Dee Dee's here too. Dee Dee's here from Las Vegas where it's 94 degrees. Oh, please send some of it to us, Dee Dee. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it when I had opened up Facebook. It said snow tomorrow in Michigan. There's already over 320 inches just north of us, and I don't want any more. Oh, Betty, welcome from Oregon. So nice to see you. Dee Dee, thank you. I'll appreciate it and take any heat you can give us. Oh, goodness. We thought we were done with our space heaters, but not quite ready to put them away yet. Ken and I live in an old house. It's a very large old house with a lot of drafts. I guess is a good word for it. Uh, I remember I grew up in this house, and I remember my mother saying, "Well, if you're not warm enough, put on a sweater." We weren't allowed to use space heaters and stuff back then. It cost electricity was too expensive. Okay, there we go. Okay, and we're going to stop right there. Now, let's talk about how we like to put in our rotations. I do like to, when I'm doing it normal, go from side to side. And the reason that I like to do that is because every stitch we take draws up our fabric. And so if we do our stitching like this from side to side as opposed to going around in a circle, it distributes that draw of the fabric more evenly. And what will happen overall is it will just plain old look nicer. There are times we can't do that, but this isn't one of them. This is one of those times I can do that. So if I can, I will. Okay, here we go. Now, this is a really cool place right here. We're going to stop at 4, then we're going to go to 8, and then we're going to go to 16, okay? Because I want to show you some of the things. Now, my stitches are getting a little long. I'm getting a little lazy here, guys. And right in our center. Perfect. I love it when it works out for me. Okay. There we go. Oh, speed myself up a little bit. Listen to that machine. And there. Okay, so what we've got here is 4 rotations. I'm going to take this off. We're going to take a look at it. I'm not going to cut my thread though, okay? There is the 4. And I showed them to you earlier on this one. Very simple, very easy, goes quickly. I think it's very elegant, and I think it can be used in a multitude of ways. So let's go ahead and add 4 more rotations and come up with a total of 8. And let's take a look at how that design comes to life, okay? Hesitate there, smaller stitches. Don't forget before you get started with your project, polish your grid glider or your ruler work glider because it's going to make your job so much easier, especially if it's new. When it comes out of the package, it's a little bit tacky. So you really do need to use that polish and get it nice and smooth and slippery. Kind of like the old slip and slides we had for our kids. Some of you may have actually used them. I was too old. My husband always tells me, you're getting older, you're not going to heal as quickly as you used to. If you're listening, Ken, you can't deny it. Last night, come to find out, after I went downstairs when I was done, he was down there working. So, no guarantees he's not working tonight. Okay, here's number 3. And Ken, if you are lurking, it would be nice for you to say hello to everybody. And we're going to have one more after this. I absolutely love the little design that comes out in the center of this when we do 8 rotations. It's so pretty. All right. I won't break thread, but I'm going to go ahead and take the template off because I really want you to see. Oh, heck. Let's break thread. we can just pull it back up again, right? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely love this. Oh, good grief. This is too funny. Dee Dee, this is the blue template. Yes. And you know what? Anne said she's going to be putting on her Dresden quilt as well. Okay, this is what I'm giggling about, guys. Becky had a friend who put oil on the slip and slide and they burned the grass. I guess that your friend wanted to go as fast as possible, right? Okay, Susan. Susan asked, what does the design look like if you start at the other point of the template? I'm glad you asked because I'm going to show you that next, okay? Dee Dee said she sees why it's called Bloom. So this is just 8 rotations. Let's go ahead and do the 16 because we do have time. And there's 2 more things that I really want to show you guys. And one of them is doing the um, template from the other side. So let's go ahead and let's quickly get these 8 rotations on. And then we can move on to some other fun things that I have planned. Okay, tomorrow we're going to be working with Spinifex 16. We actually are going to be starting with the Spinifex. We're working backwards. And we've already done many of the Spinifex, the not the numbered ones, but the specialty ones. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going around on this one. This is a practice one, like I said, and it's just easier than trying to figure out, did I do that or didn't I? So here we go. Look at all those beautiful spaces. I was thinking of spaces with these. We can color them with our Inktense pencils. We could template. There are so many template opportunities with this particular template. So this template just never ceases to amaze me as to how versatile it really is and how we can make it do things that you just would not expect from it. And that's what is really cool about this one. Okay, now even with all of these rotations, I don't feel like the center is getting bunched up too badly. And I think part of the reason I do that happens is because I do tend sometimes to start a stitch or stop a stitch earlier or start a stitch later, and it tends to bring that big center build up a little bit different. And what I can do if I find that even though I've stopped not exactly straight center, I can always make that one stitch, move my template to make sure that it's lined up properly, and then go ahead and keep going. The other thing that will help a lot when you have a big buildup in the center like that is make sure you have a new needle. I think we don't give our needles the credit that they deserve. If you have a sharp needle, a new needle, it will help you do things a lot easier than a dull needle will. I find that I change my needle almost daily. I do a lot of sewing. Whoops, I'm sorry. You should really not let it go past 8 hours of sewing and change it. Needles are cheap, repairs are expensive. So I believe I'd rather change the needle than have to take my baby in and get her fixed. I would just not be happy if I was without her. And neither would Ken, because he'd be the one fixing her, and I'd be looking over his shoulder saying, "Are you done yet?" uh, Either that or I'd steal his 301. Either way, he loses, poor guy, huh? Okay, almost there. We've got one more to do. Now, this is definitely, it is intense. Those are our last. We have a lot of secondary designs in here. This is the last one. And into the center we go. All right. Isn't that gorgeous? Naomi West is a genius as far as I'm concerned. There we go. And isn't that beautiful? You know, Monica, you just said something. Jean asked, okay, let's back up just a little bit. Okay, so Susan asked what the design would look like if we start at the other point of the template, which we're going to do, definitely going to do. Susan asked, how does one get this template? Susan, you can go to your local quilt shop that carries Wesley and So Steady products, and they should be able to get it if they don't already have it for you, okay? Um, Jean asked a good question. Could you do 4 one way and 4 the other way? Absolutely, Jean. They're absolutely, and I think it would look beautiful. Let's see if we can't get enough time to do that. Monica, pretty buttons in the center can cover that buildup. You're absolutely right. And I think that's a lovely idea. I really do. Oh, Diane's here from Chicago. Welcome, Diane. Nice to see you. Yeah, Linda says beautiful template, and she's right. Uh-huh. Okay, Diane says, which template is this? Diane, this is the Bloom template that we're working with tonight. Looks like this. Here's the package. It is a reseller exclusive, so you do need to get it at your local quilt shop. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is this. This is turning the template around. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put the top in the center, and we're going to do 8 rotations from the center out as soon as I move that stuff over there. Okay, we're going to come on up in the center. Oh, did my foot come loose? No, it's perfect. I shouldn't have said that because now I've just jinxed myself. Oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness, I've got such a cough tonight, and I don't know why. I think it could have something to do with the pollen in the air from the trees starting to bud out a little bit. All right, here we go. Oh, Linda, I love that. Linda said crystals glued to the center would work too, and she's right, it would. You guys have such great ideas. Okay, there's my first stitch, and here we go. What I'll do is what I did before. We'll do 4 rotations, and then we'll take a look at it, and then do the other 4, okay? Oh, you know, sometimes we just want something a little less. 16 rotations might be just way more than we want on a project. And that's okay. If you want 8, use 8. If you want 4, use 4. We also have our 5-point and our 6-point, and we just don't use those enough. We really don't. So you can take and use those as well. It's going to give you a whole different look. And that's what's really cool about the fact that we can get so many different looks from one template just simply by the number of rotations we put in it or how we put those rotations in it. So it's really cool that way. Okay, I'm going to make sure my nail's down. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn over here. And come around. Don't pull off that ledge. Oh, perfect. I didn't. I like this little point at the end. It's kind of cool. It reminds me of a shape of something that I cannot think for the life of me what that shape is or where I've seen it before. And one more, and we're going to have our 4 done. There we go. And around. Okay, let's take a look. There we go. So there is 4 points stitched backwards. Okay, so we say it's backwards. It really, it's the way we intend for it to be, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put 4 more in. Pull my thread pulled out a little bit. No worries, this is practice, remember? Okay. Now, what I like to do with my practice pieces like this, I will put them in a folder with my templates. And that way, what'll happen is when I go to look for something, a design, I'm not really sure what exactly it is I want. I have these designs already stitched out. So I can say, oh yeah, that one would be perfect on the project I'm working on. I trim them up. I don't just put the whole piece of fabric in there. I trim them up nicely. And another way you could keep it also is if you had a binder, a three ring binder, and you could use the page protectors, put them in the page protectors, and go ahead and catalog them that way as well. That's another really good way of keeping them all organized. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm organized. I try to be organized anyway. But it doesn't always work out that way. But I do try. And there we go. Okay, 2 more to go. Nice little point at the end. And one more. This is just a whole different look. Totally different look. And back to the center, and we are going to have our 8 points finished. And there we go. Let's go ahead and cut these threads off. And okay, get those out of the way. There it is. Sometimes it's hard to see that deco bob. And there's 8. And that is looking at it from an opposite direction. I love that as well. It really makes it look different. It reminds me of the grand leaf. Okay, let's look at what Dee Dee has to say. She said you could do a very small circle in the center, stop, stitch the next spot, and so on. So not getting the buildup. Dee Dee, you're absolutely right. And I did that in a little bit of a bigger way on this one here that we did just a little bit earlier. Okay, so that's definitely a way to avoid the buildup. That's what I'm trying to say. Avoid the buildup. uh, okay, 5 points is. Oh, Linda says 5 points is her favorite for a spin effect. Linda, we're going to pull that out then as we start our spin effect series for you, okay? Awesome. Donna. Oh yeah, black cars, yellow from the pollen. I know it's this is a bad time of year for allergies. And Linda says it reminds her of a stingray. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Everybody gets these darn allergies this time of year, don't we? Okay, let's move on because I really, really want to show you guys this. This is something that I just came up with. I don't know why. I just wanted to do something really, really different. And so I came up with these two. All right. I'm going to show you how I did that. So this one, well, let's do this one first. This one made me think of a spider mom. Love spider mums. They're beautiful, I think. I really do like them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go bring our thread up in the center like we always do. Okay, there we go. Oh, I am sorry. There, I hit it again. I need to move this just a little bit for you all. Okay, and let's go ahead and pull it in just a hair. All right. Love this camera. So what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to come up to this point and come back. And then I'm going to twist, come back up to this point and go back 3 times. You could do it more than 3 times if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so here we go. I've got the top in the center. I'm going to stitch out. I'm going to stop at this edged line. Let me go ahead and get these threads out of here without disturbing the template, if I can. Oh, goodness. There we go. Boy, that was a process, wasn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to come back into the center. I'm going to twist my template. You know, I've got a thing for twisting these templates. It's just something that I like to do. There we go. Again, I'm going to stop when I get to that line and come back to center. And I'm going to twist it again, stitch out until I hit that line, and come back to center. Now, somebody's probably, could we do that a fourth time? Yeah, absolutely you could. I just chose 3 because it seemed like a reasonable number. I don't know, it's just what was going through my head at the time, so that's why I chose 3. Okay, make sure my foot's good. Now this is going to build up in the center. Oh, what happened here? I need to reset my foot. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I got a little wobble in there. It's okay, it's practice. I'm going to come up until I hit that edge line, and then we're going to come down. Stop at the center, needle down, twist the template, come up again, stitch to the edge line, and then back to center. And one more time. Right here, and then we're going to come back. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to make one next to it like I'm doing 8 rotations. But we don't have enough time to do 8. So I'm just going to show you I'm going to come into this side so you get an idea of what it would look like. Because I personally think if I was going to do this, I would probably just do 4 rotations of it. I think 8 might be too much, but let's take a look. It might give us some really interesting design options that we didn't think of. And that. And we're going to do one more time. Up and that. And it really does give us some interesting design in here. It's a very heavy pattern. And when I say heavy, what I mean is there's a lot of thread going on in here. Okay. Yeah, I really think I would keep it at 4, have it on 4, and just have each one of these look independent. I think this might, putting that 8, the second set of rotations in there might be just a little bit too much. What do you guys think? Okay. Diane, you're absolutely right. She said these would look even more stunning with the second layer of fabric and template fuse. Absolutely right. There's so much we could do in here. And I think that's just, these templates just give us non-ending possibility. Gail said it reminds her of an onion. And Linda said agrees that 4 look better. And yeah, I really do think 4 look better, Linda. One more thing that I want to show you guys, and that's this little fella here. And I don't know why I did that, but I did. So let's see if I can do it again. Okay. We'll do it down here. Okay, it looks to me like what I did was I twisted it and came up and then twisted it and came back down. Let's try that and see if that's what I did. Isn't that something I can't remember? Okay, we're going to put the template on right side out, which is this, the top side out. And how can you tell? You can tell because of the writing on here. The writing is always going to tell you if your template's right side up and if it's pointed in the direction that it should be. So now what I did, I think, is I went ahead and put my foot right here in this on this ledge. And then I'm going to put my vertical center line on my vertical center line. And we'll go ahead and we're just going to take one stitch in place and we're going to head out. And then I stopped when I got to the line. Now what I'm going to do after I cut my thread is, and I want you to see this, so I'm going to turn this around. My goodness, does that fabric look red? And it's not. It's dark burgundy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist my template back around. I'm going to get my spacing gauge out. I want to end up right at the center, so I'm going to use my spacing gauge. And I'm going to go from the side and from the bottom, and it looks really good. And here we come back in. I guess I was off a little bit. That's okay. That's why we practice. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start on this side this time. And it doesn't really matter which side you start on. It's going to be awesome no matter where you start. Here we're going to have a little secondary design. It's going to be very small, but it's going to be cute. Stop on the center line. You can see what I've done here. Now we're going to twist it. I'm going to definitely be a little more cautious with my measurements this time. Okay, so I want my template to be right here and right here. Bring it down a little bit. It takes a little bit of tweaking as far as turning it, but here we've got it right, and here we've got to come in just a little bit. There we go. So now we're going to take that one stitch on top, and this is going to come right back into the center this time, right there. That's where we want it. And let's go ahead and do it as if we're doing 8 rotations. Let's take a look and see how that works. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I'm thinking I'm going to like this. Now, I'm coming all the way up on this one. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to twist, and I'm going to stop when I get in the center. And there we go. Oh, I am sorry. We did it. Okay. Let me fix you here. All right. There we go. I bumped everything here. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at how this one looks. I'm thinking I like this. I think this could be a fun one to do. Definitely a little fun, just a little bit of different. And there we go. So tonight we have looked at the Bloom template in so many different ways. And you know what? I can't say I have a favorite. I really can't because I love them all. I do. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I need to make a quilt so I can use all these now. Oh, you guys, Diane said she loves the Spider-Man look, and so do I. I think it's great. We have come to the end of our, so shall I say, my brain dump. I just do whatever comes to my mind on these, and I really love it. And I really love the fact that you're here with me to do it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Things are only going to stay on Facebook for 30 days, but they will stay on YouTube indefinitely at this point in time. And you are also welcome. I do appreciate you being here so, so much. And oh, Ellen, I'm sorry, but we do have the videotape so you can see it. Anyway, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, we're going to do Spinifex 16. So I hope you can join me. And until then, let's quilt.